Welcome back to another episode of Gamer Zero, where we spread that gaming truth like a virus. I'm your host, T Hill. So, you guys probably just finished watching my Batman Arkham City Collector's Edition unboxing, and a little brief run through. So now we're going to hop into, like you saw in the title, this is my review of the game. I got it at the midnight launch, played till from I think it was about 12:20 till about 5:40. Turned it off, got about 5 hours of sleep, 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I think it was about 11:30 the next day. I set my alarm clock or something for that. Hopped in the shower, ate, and got back in it, and played till I think it was like 11 or 12ish when I finished up the game. So let's get into this review already. I know I like to talk, but so the premise of the game is it is Arkham City. People are thinking, what happened to Gotham City? Arkham City is a kind of like a prison for all the crazy super villains and all the regular villains from, I think it was Blackwater Prison or Blackgate. I'm not good at remembering every little name, but so if I misquote it, I do apologize. And again, before I get too far in this video, if the volume is too low, I apologize. The whole camera thing. So I will try to tweak this. Hopefully you can hear me very clearly. So it's a subset. It's a prison for all the super crazy people set up by Hugo Strange. And I don't want to ruin a lot of the plot points, but the premise is you're Batman in Arkham City, and you're trying to figure out, well, one, you're trying to shut down Arkham City, and two, you come across this thing called Protocol 10. And you are trying to figure out what it is and stop it, because it's got a very ominous tone to the whole setup of it. And there's a lot of twists and turns. Story is amazing. Oh my god, I love the story. Some people complain that the characters, you don't get really attached to them. I actually really enjoyed every single time, every villain I got to interact with, and there are plenty. But the narrative's so well done, you enjoy every single time. And yes, and maybe this is just being a fan and a huge enthusiast of the game, I would have loved more. But what they give you is it's proportional. It's, people always want more, and the story and the narrative, and it's so fun. There's so many a breadth of so many characters that you come across that you feel like you're in Batman's world. And the narrative, the Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprise their roles of Batman and Joker, and they have so many. The voice talent that's been lended to the game is just amazing. It just, the narrative, I cannot say this enough, really pulls the story forward and forward, and you never feel like not connecting. You never have any problems with character development. And you've got Catwoman in there, you've got the whole roster, Bane's in there, Joker's in there, you've got Mad Hatter, the Riddlers throughout the game. There are so many people. Zaz is back, if you like Zaz. So there's tons, and there's a lot of lesser known names. People who are more Batman aficionados will really enjoy a lot of the character selection that make it into their game. So story, really good. Narrative, phenomenal. Let's get into the gameplay. If you played Batman Arkham Asylum, you're immediately going to be feeling familiar with Batman Arkham City. But the cool thing is everything runs so much smoother. Traversing the landscape, you have this huge environment, this massive city that you can crawl all over pretty much and fly all over. And when I do say fly, if you got the skills, you're going to be pretty much flying all over the place. So Superman, you got some competition in the flying department. But yeah, the climbing, super smooth. The combat, that whole rhythm system, that free flow battle, it returns in spades. Actually looks so much cooler, so much more polished. Multiple takedowns, multiple counters, double takedowns, triple takedowns. It is amazing. And the combat with all of your Batman gadgets, which a lot of them are returning, plus some new ones, and then there's upgrades to all of the new ones, and then the usage of those gadgets in the combat is crazy. Being in the middle of a combat, duking it out, and then shoot somebody with your back claw and then pull them into the fight or clothesline them. It is crazy fun. The combat is insane. You feel like you are Batman and you're doing some really cool shit. So the combat is nailed. It's smooth. You can get into it. Let's see what else we have there. The detective side of it. The detective side, yeah. One of the things I really enjoyed about Arkham Asylum that they brought back and did really well is, okay, you're investigating a crime scene and you're looking at blood particulates or pheromones in the air. That all returns. You go into the detective mode. Sometimes you might even do like bullet trajectory. Sorry, drinking a soda. So sometimes you'll have to figure out the bullet trajectory and then follow it back. The level of Batman type of detective work is phenomenal. It's in there. That is just killer. It is killer. So then the other part of being Batman, because he's got so many different facets to his personality and his character, is his stealth. He's Batman. And the same thing with Catwoman. The stealth is really well done. One thing that was a problem, maybe a problem so much for me with Batman Arkham Asylum, was that it felt so confined with the experiences that it always felt like you really are forced down one, maybe two paths to handle a combat situation. With Arkham City, it is so much more open, and even the combat situations where you are going to have to take out people stealth-like, it's so the pieces are so much larger that you can come at it from so many different angles. You have a lot more room to maneuver and get around and hide and duck and cover and pull yourself up from. And plus all your upgrades, because later on in the game, some of the enemies get the ability to detect you when you're up on walls with like heat sensors, and you can get upgrades to actually turn that off. But they'll also get hip to what you're doing. So say if you hop on one of those banisters or perches, they'll, even without you doing anything, they'll shoot the banister or the perch down, so that way you don't have that to maneuver with. Or if you do a takedown and then hop underneath some stairs, hop underneath like the little catwalk things, and you hop underneath the grate, if the body's too close to the grate, they'll start investigating the grate and track you down. So there's a lot of different things. And Catwoman has her own unique abilities where she'll actually climb on the ceiling, which I thought was badass. And she could do takedowns as she's climbing along grates. It just is so much love to really bringing out the characters, their personality types in the combat, and the way they behave as a controllable character is so one-to-one to their personality. And anything you would expect from these characters is delivered in spades. So there's all that. For gameplay, there is so many and I guess I should say this is more of a replay type of thing, because you beat the game, cool. Normally that's a lot of games, that's the end of it. But this has a new game plus. So everything you carried over goes into your new game plus. All the Riddler challenges, all the tons and tons and tons of side missions. It is just a plethora of content. But everything carries over. All your upgrades, all that stuff carries over. But the cool thing is, it's harder now. So it's not like, oh, cool, you have all this stuff, now you have an unfair advantage from the break. No, they actually take a lot of the enemy types that were later in the game and salt and pepper them into the beginning. And the difficulty ramps up a lot, because not only do they throw those in situations where you never really had to deal with that, but they take away the little signifier saying, oh, you might need a counter here. Those alerts are gone. So now this makes it so much more immersive. There's a lot less of the HUD being in the way. A lot of these little game design decisions have been removed. So you have to really be paying attention to all of your surroundings during the combat. So it's those little touches that really make it better. Plus, if you have any downloadable content like skins, all that is now accessible in the New Game Plus. It's not accessible, at least from what I've seen. I've tried it, and once you beat the game, it's not accessible in the original playthrough. In the New Game Plus, it is. Cool thing about it is anything you get in the New Game Plus or in the original, all those upgrades, even after you beat it, once you start a new New Game Plus, they both go back and forth. So whatever you do here, copies over here. So if I'm done and I want to do some exploring over in the New Game Plus for less of a challenge, it automatically transfers over. That right there, that's the business. That is tied. So tons of content, tons of fun. The combat's amazing. Fun factor, if you're a Batman fan, you like action adventure, you like just being a badass stealth, the whole detective work, you will love this game. You will love it. So we know story's great, gameplay's great, fun factor, it's amazing, replayability, there's so much content, and plus a New Game Plus, you will either be doing one of two things, playing through the game multiple times to pick up more content, or you will be sitting in either the original or New Game Plus. You'll probably fall into the original because it's a little easier to just traverse, because now later on in the game, everyone's got a gun pretty much. So if everyone's got a gun at the end, and you start salt and peppering them, it's going to get a lot more complicated. And there's so much to do. You will have so much of a reason to come back to this world. I have to give this game a score, and it is a resounding 5 out of 5 badasses. You will love this game. There's so much beef to this game. It is a meaty game. It is quite possibly one of the best games, not only of this generation, but in gaming. Rocksteady, hat is off to you. You did a phenomenal job. And if you sleep on this game, you are crazy. I would question if you're a gamer if you sleep on this game and you don't pick up Batman Arkham City. So again, Batman Arkham City is a 5 out of 5 badasses. I highly recommend it. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments. Hit me up on Twitter, because you guys know I live on Twitter. I'm a tweet freak. Maybe that didn't come out as well as I wanted. But yeah, I love Twitter. Hit me up there. As always, you can follow me on hiphopgamershow.com. On Twitter, it's T_Hill0. If you don't know what a underscore is, it's underscore is the little line. So all the letters up here, underscore is a little line. Or if you want to play with me on PSN, when I get a chance, because I have so many games this holiday season, it's T-Hill. All right, hit me up. I'm out. Peace.